The miniMOTO class finally has a real agitator. Honda's Grom created this segment and still defines it, but CFMoto's Papio SS undercuts it on price while adding a sixth gear, a full fairing, and rider aids Honda charges extra for. 9 points decide which one earns your garage space. The Papio SS opens at $3,299, which makes it the cheapest genuine mini street bike on the American market outside the Benelli TNT 135. The Grom starts at $3,599 for the base model, $3,699 for the SP, and $3,799 for the ABS version, with a $300 destination charge on top of every trim. CFMoto's freight varies by dealer and often runs closer to $640, so out-the-door numbers land nearer than the sticker suggests. But the Papio SS still arrives with dual-channel ABS and traction control at its entry price, while the equivalently equipped Grom ABS asks $4,099 delivered. That is roughly a $700 gap for comparable safety hardware, and in a segment where buyers are frequently spending discretionary money, $700 is not noise. Honda's Grom runs a 123.9cc air-cooled SOHC 2-valve single with a 50.0mm by 63.1mm bore and stroke, a 10.0 to 1 compression ratio, PGM-FI injection, and a 5-speed gearbox. It is deliberately long stroke and torque forward, which is why the Grom feels tractable at walking pace and never punishes a lazy shift. CFMoto goes the other direction. 126cc, a markedly over-square 57mm by 49.4mm bore and stroke, 9.0 to 1 compression, EFI, and a 6-speed transmission, producing a claimed 9.4 horsepower at 8,250 RPM and 6.8 pound-foot at 6,500 RPM. Honda does not publish a horsepower figure for the Grom, but real-world numbers sit in the same neighborhood. The practical difference is gearing. The Papio's extra ratio keeps the engine in its narrow power band and makes 45-mile-per-hour stretches less frantic. The Grom is sold as raw material. Its bodywork uses a plug-and-play mounting system specifically so owners can swap panels, and Honda offers undercowl, handguard, and a catalog of accessories to support that. For 2026, the base bike comes in candy blue, pearl white, and cherry red, the SP in matte gunpowder black metallic, and the ABS in pearl white. The Papio SS takes the opposite position. It arrives fully faired with a boxy race fairing, dual round LED headlight pods, color-matched rims, and clip-on handlebars, a miniature cafe racer that draws obvious comparison to the cult Yamaha YSR50. It looks finished out of the crate. Nothing else in the class is fully faired, which is either its strongest selling point or its biggest limitation, depending on whether you like modifying bikes. Both bikes ride on 12-inch alloy wheels, wearing 120/70/12 front and 130/70/12 rear rubber, and both use an inverted fork with a rear monoshock. Honda specifies a 31mm inverted fork with 4.3 inches of travel and a single shock working through a box-section steel swing arm with 4.1 inches of travel. CFMoto's monoshock is preload adjustable, which the Grom's is not, a meaningful advantage for heavier riders or two-up use. The decisive number is mass. The Grom weighs 224 pounds ready to ride, or 227 with ABS. The Papio SS carries 251 pounds. That 24 to 27 pound penalty is roughly 11%, and on machines making single-digit horsepower, it is felt everywhere, launching from lights, flicking through traffic, and lifting the bike into a truck bed. Honda fits a 2-piston caliper on a 220mm front disc and a single-piston caliper on a 190mm rear disc across the range. ABS is reserved for the top Grom ABS trim, and it operates on the front wheel only. CFMoto counters with a 210mm front disc and a 190mm rear with a single-piston floating caliper, but pairs them with dual-channel ABS as standard equipment on every Papio SS, plus standard traction control. On a 251-pound bike with 9 odd horsepower, traction control is closer to a marketing checkbox than a safety necessity. But rear-wheel ABS genuinely matters for new riders who overuse the back brake in panic stops. This is the clearest specification win for CFMoto in the entire comparison. Seat heights are effectively identical, 30.0 inches for the Grom, 29.9 for the Papio SS. Everything above the seat diverges. The Grom uses a wide, upright handlebar, giving an open, commuter-friendly posture that suits errands and stop-and-go riding. The Papio's clip-ons drop the wrists and load the shoulders, delivering the sport bike silhouette, but demanding more of the rider over distance. Dimensionally, the Grom measures 69.2 inches long and 28.6 inches wide, with a 47.2-inch wheelbase and 7.0 inches of ground clearance. The Papio SS stretches to 68.9 by 27.6 inches, with a 47.8-inch wheelbase. Both accommodate a passenger. Riders over 6 feet will find the Grom easier to live with. Anyone chasing the mini supersport aesthetic will accept the Papio's compromise happily. The Grom holds 1.6 gallons. The Papio SS holds 1.9. Both engines are famously abstemious, so the Papio's extra 0.3 gallon translates to a genuinely longer leash between fill-ups, useful on a bike whose owners tend to ride it everywhere rather than trailer it. Insurance and consumables are trivial on both. Where the running cost calculation gets interesting is service. Honda's dealer density and parts pipeline in the United States are unmatched, and Grom maintenance items are stocked practically everywhere. CFMoto's American network has expanded aggressively from its Minnesota base, but coverage remains uneven outside metropolitan areas. Both carry a 12-month limited warranty, so neither manufacturer is buying goodwill with paperwork, and both meet current EPA emissions requirements without complicating routine servicing. Anyone living an hour or more from a CFMoto dealer should weigh that logistics question seriously before signing. CFMoto gives the Papio SS a round dash with an analog-style tachometer and an inset LCD panel reporting speed, gear position, fuel level, time, and odometer, framed by full LED lighting front and rear. It is the more characterful presentation, and the tachometer is the sort of detail buyers notice on the showroom floor. Honda's Grom counters with a fully digital LCD instrument cluster and its own LED lighting, including a compact tail lamp, plus blacked-out treatment across the engine, exhaust, wheels, and swing arm. Neither bike offers connectivity, TFT displays, or ride modes, which is appropriate. On pure visual appeal at a standstill, the Papio's round gauge and twin headlight pods land harder. This is where the Grom's 12-year head start becomes decisive. The aftermarket for Honda's Mini is enormous. Big bore kits, exhausts, suspension, bodywork, race series, and a global community that has turned the Grom into a tuning platform rather than a commuter. Resale values have historically held remarkably well, which materially reduces true cost of ownership. Honda's reputation for small engine durability is the reason Groms accumulate absurd mileage without drama. CFMoto has improved dramatically in build quality and now backs machines like the 450 SS and Ibex 450 with credible engineering. But the Papio SS has almost no aftermarket, a shorter track record, and softer resale expectations. The Cordial tires are competent, but will be the first thing many owners replace. The Papio SS is the better-equipped motorcycle at the lower price, and that is not a close argument. Dual-channel ABS, traction control, a 6-speed gearbox, preload adjustability, a larger tank, and full fairing styling for $3,299 represent serious value. And CFMoto deserves credit for building a mini bike that looks like a scaled-down supersport rather than a scaled-up toy. If your priority is maximum specification per dollar and you want something that stands out at a bike night full of Groms, buy it. The Grom is still the better ownership proposition. It is 27 pounds lighter, which is the single most important number in a class where nobody has power to spare. It is easier to ride, easier to service, endlessly customizable, backed by the deepest dealer network in American powersports, and far more likely to return your money when you sell it. For most buyers, especially newer riders and anyone who intends to modify, the Grom's Premium is money well spent.